Hi friends, it's September 1st. You know what that means. Sampler September. I'm excited. So I put all the samplers that I have currently going or that I would like to start soon into the Tiny Decisions app. And I'm just gonna spin the wheel maybe every day, maybe every other day. I don't know. We're gonna keep it loose. And so today I spun and I got a new start. So I have this book by Brenda Keyes called Traditional Samplers. You can get this pretty cheaply off Amazon. It's an old book from the 80s. A lot of the colors are kind of maybe the 90s. A lot of the colors are like 90s-esque, a little dated, but I think with some updating, a lot of these samplers have a good look to them. They have some good bones. So the sampler I'm going to start today, is this one, Margaret Simcock. I think this is a reproduction of a sampler done by this little girl, Margaret Simcock. I am changing the colors. I'm going to make some, I'm going to put a poem in here instead of this verse. I'll probably leave her name off. I'm making a lot of changes to this that you will see. So what I pulled color-wise, so I pulled, this is 36 count truffle by Picture This Plus. It's a little bit more pink in person. It's turning up really brown on camera, but you're probably familiar with this color. It's like a brown with a lot of pink undertones. And I pulled these greens and pinks for the border, and this blue. I mean, this blue and the gold and that I'm kind of undecided on, but I'm definitely going to use this cream, this brown. Maybe not this brown, I don't know. These colors are definite. Everything else I think I'll probably use. I'm a little undecided on some of them. My husband thought I should go with a brighter fabric, but he wanted me to use this Zweigart Ice Blue. And I agree that the pink and green would definitely pop on that, but I think since it's a reproduction sampler, I don't want to, even though I'm brightening the colors, I don't want them to be too poppy on the fabric. I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to put some stitches in and see how I feel. But that is what I'm going to start today. All of these silks are silks from a Dinky Dyes Oops Pack. So I can list the names if you're interested in them, but you know, because they're from an Oops Pack, they might be labeled wrong. The color might not be right. So this larger silk is from like a Silks for You Oops Pack. She does those sometimes. So I figured I would use up some of my fancy Oops floss. So in any case, I'm going to put a few stitches into this and I will catch up with you guys when I have something to show you. So have I mentioned before that I am horrible at measuring? Yeah, this fabric I came to find is not big enough for 2/2. This design's about like 197 by 197, so 2/2 on 36, that's like 10 3/4 by 10 3/4. This is supposed to be a 13 by 17 inch piece, which would be pushing it, right, a little bit in the margins, but it's actually, it's not actually 13 inches, especially with the selvage. It's closer to 11 inches. So it's like maybe 12 inches on one end and a little bit shorter on the other, which tends to happen with hand-dyed fabric sometimes. So, you know, like you don't always get a cut that's exactly as it's supposed to be. So, I mean, I figured that out before I started stitching on it, and then I thought, oh, well, I'll just do it over one, and then it will be a little 6" by 6" sampler, and that'll be really sweet and dainty. So I started it over one, and I'm just not happy with it. Unpopular opinion, I don't really love the way 1/1 looks. I mean, that's not true. I often like the way 1/1 looks for other people's work, but whenever I do 1/1, it just seems so, maybe it's just because it's linen, right? I don't know. It's not looking great. And I was thinking, you know, also the variegation in the silks is getting lost with the 1/1, and in a way it wouldn't in a 1/2 situation. The other problem is this chart has some, the text for this chart I'm changing, but in order to fit in, that text was charted over one anyway, and in order to kind of fit it in around the motifs, and in order to fit in the poem, I had planned to use, I would need to be able to do the motifs over 2 and then the text over 1. Yesterday when I decided to start this over 1, I picked out a different quote and I spent a couple hours charting it out, and I could have squeezed that in with 1/1 text, but as I was working on these leaves and these like little flowers, their shapes aren't, like, you know, details are getting lost. Like, you can't really see, the vines are all, looks like it's all smushed together because you can't see where there's gaps because of the over 1 stitching. So I was worried that the text would be illegible, squeezing it in over 1 in like a small font in the finished piece. So I spent all day yesterday kind of going back and forth about what to do. Thought I'd stitch a little more, see if it looks better, stitch a little more, see if it looks better. This morning I put these pink balls in, and I just don't like it enough to justify doing a whole piece like this. So I bit the bullet and ordered a larger piece of truffle by Picture This Plus. Everything Picture This Plus is kind of back ordered right now. The store I ordered from says online that it's in stock. It's not 123. It's a shop I haven't ordered from before that I found on Google when looking for this fabric. But so we'll see, like, when I receive this, when I receive the bigger cut. I ordered a piece that was 17 by 17, which was the nice thing about this shop. I didn't have to order a standard size. So, and it reduced the cost a little bit, because I think a 25 by 17 piece is like $25, $26, and they only charged me $17, $18 for a 17 by 17 piece. And that's all. That will give me more than enough margin with 40 count for a 10.5 by 10.5. Yeah, that will give me enough margin to frame. So, long story short, I'm going to put this away until the new fabric comes in, and then I will restart it. So I really admire people who can just like kind of go with the flow in terms of stitching. You know, there's a couple of you guys out there who you'll be like, oh, it's not perfect, but I don't mind, and you'll be able to go with it and still make something beautiful. But I just know myself. I just know that I'm going to agonize over this if I continue working on it, you know? So I'll get more joy out of the process if I just get a bigger piece of fabric. So that's been ordered, and this is going to get put away for until that comes in. Who knows when that will be. So I did spin my wheel earlier today, and what got chosen was Three Things by Moira Blackburn, which I have been itching to work on for a while, but because of my purchase today, I'm now in the negative for Stitch from Stash. And I didn't work so hard on the Year of Whips challenge to not qualify, because in order to qualify to like for the drawing, you have to complete half your WIPs and also be in the positive and Stitch from Stash. And I did all that work, so I want to stay in the Stitch from Stash positive for the remainder of the year. So now I need to finish. And of all the WIPs I have on the go right now that are started, I think Coffee Quaker is the one I most reasonably could finish this month. I mean, maybe the Suhillis is further along, is like smaller, but this is also a sampler. So since it's sampler September, so I'm gonna work on Coffee Quaker for the rest of the day, and maybe tomorrow as well. Maybe for the rest of the week until the retreat this weekend, when I have to pull out some challenge pieces on Friday. So, oh well, it's Wednesday. So I guess, yeah, Wednesday and Thursday I'll be working on Coffee Quaker, and then on Friday I'll work on the retreat challenges. But so I will check in with you Friday morning and let you see how far along I got. I'm hoping to complete at least the top 2 pages, the first 2 pages before Friday. So I guess I better get going. Hello, it is Saturday morning, and this is kind of what I got done on Coffee Quaker during the week on Thursday and Friday. So over here is the far edge of the design. So I finished this motif, put the date in, so now I have to finish it this year. Did this motif, started this motif, and started this motif. This one, there is a center part missing to this, but I haven't decided what color I'm going to use yet. My kind of thought is that I'm going to color complete with the 5 colors I selected, and then after that I'll lay this out and make decisions about the colors for the missing motif. I'm missing a flower over here and an initial, and then there's a bunch of motifs that go down here, but I think that will be the best way of doing it and will avoid putting a motif in and then ripping it out because I don't like the color. So that's my plan. I'm going to put this away for the rest of the day because it's retreat weekend. So the Black Needle Society online virtual retreat, the free virtual retreat, started yesterday, and I've already participated in a couple challenges. I participated in the stash dive yesterday, which was super fun, but man, that makes a mess. I like tore my living room apart. And I participated in 2 stitching challenges where you had an hour to stitch as much as you could on a project that met a certain prompt. And earlier in the week, when I was planning to participate in that challenge, I set up this project because it fit 2 prompts. It fit a project that has 310, lots of 310 in this, and a project that has purple, lots of purple. So I had set this up earlier in the week so that I would have some easy lines to stitch so I could get a lot of stitches in. Because every, I think, 50 stitches gets you an entry into the drawing. So I did that. And I got quite a bit done. I finished this top border, carried the border all the way down here, got these lines in. I started to fill in these motifs up here. So the next time I pull this out, I'll color in the top band and probably get these words in and try and finish outlining the black. So this is the bottom of the second page here. So I've gotten a lot of work done on page 2. It would be nice to finish page 2 this year. I think I said I needed to keep a pace of a page and a half a year to complete this by the next leap year. It's actually stitching up pretty quickly. This is a super pleasure to work on. It's 1/2 on 40 count linen, and it's just a total pleasure to stitch on. I love the colors too. They're so bright and cheerful. This is just the called for DMC. So I used this for 2 challenges yesterday. And let's see, what else have I worked on? So I said I was going to work on this every day in the month of September in the evenings. I think I have worked on it most days, but not every day. I usually get in about like an hour or so a night. So I have made some progress on this. You know, I got this strawberry done, some more of this vine. This vine has like 3 or 4 different colors of green in it, so there's a lot of color, which you can't even tell when looking at it. Well, I guess you can if you look really close. Like those are different greens, but it's a little bit slow going. And like I said, I'm missing some colors. I'm missing this main basket color, the colors that go on these yellow flowers. So that's a little frustrating when I'm working on it because there's some parts like I couldn't finish this flower over here. I put a 1, 2, 3 order in, so those flosses should be arriving shortly. But yeah, so I have done a little bit of work on needles and pins. I'm going to try and take it out each evening that I feel up to it for the rest of the month and see if I can't, you know, get maybe at least across the top of this border, or I don't know, down further. Maybe I'll see if I can get the 1/1 words in over here. I don't know. I'd like to get a little bit more progress done on this. I'm sure everybody else has probably already finished theirs, or I'm behind on floss tube, so I don't know where people are at, but like Jenny, I bet you've been blasting ahead on this, right? I know Candace has already done, like, she only worked on it a couple days and she's already way further ahead than I am. So in terms of what I'm going to work on today, the first stitching challenge for the retreat this weekend, this morning, sorry, is something Halloween related, and I don't actually have anything Halloween related currently started. So this afternoon, the challenge is Christmas related. So I figured this morning I would just work on this Sue Hillis project for a few hours to try and get it into a better place for the challenge this afternoon. So you can do projects that don't fit the prompt for penalty stitches. So I'm going to do that this morning for the morning challenge. The difference is I think you just have to do 75 stitches for each entry instead of 50. So I might as well participate, but I'm going to work on, I don't know how half stitches and back stitches count. I have to check, but I'll at least get this D in and then start this cupcake, I think. And I'm hoping I can get this in a bit of a place this morning. Got a frog in my throat. I'm hoping I can get this to a place this morning to where I can put the letters in this afternoon, because, you know, the best way to get a lot of stitches in a challenge is to use only one color and have kind of minimal counting. So that's my hope anyway. I guess this gingerbread man, I think he's more than one color. I don't know. I'm certainly not going to get as many stitches in as I did on Froth and Bubble for these challenges, because that was just straight lines, but it'd be nice to get some solid progress on this today. And then I'll figure out what I'm doing tomorrow. I'll catch up with you guys then. Got some Happy Mail. So I ordered way too much stuff a couple weeks ago. Stuff I have no business ordering. Whatever. It's still a pandemic. I'll do what I want. So first thing that came today was my order from the Top Knot Stitcher. So when I saw this come out, I had to order it right away. The Bendy Stitchy Drama Llama sampler. I love this, and I want to start it right away, but I'm going to try and make myself finish Coffee Quaker first before I start it. Maybe. We'll see. I don't have any of the called for, so I'm just going to have to pull a couple colors that look nice together and a fabric and go from there. And no chart can travel alone, so I mean, the last thing I need is another Real Hill kit. Also, I have no business buying and stitching fall things. I don't decorate for fall. we have a small apartment, and my husband said I can have decorations for one season. And of course I picked Christmas. So I don't seasonally decorate for anything else, but there's just something about a blue pumpkin I really like. Blue and orange. It's a good color combo. I don't know. I like hummed and hawed over this, and then I was noticing they were selling out really fast on a couple sites, so I just decided while I was ordering the Drama Llama to go for it. And the colors look fun. Look at that. Oh, some glare. Those beads. Yeah. This will probably be a quick stitch that I'll start, put 6 stitches into, and then put away for 2 years. And a 1, 2, 3 order came. So remember how I said I have no business buying fall charts? Yeah. Blue and orange. I don't know. I've had this one on my eye on this one for a little while. It went down in price a little bit. It's a couple years old. It's cute. It doesn't look like it's too big of a... It's like, what is it? It's 79 by 43. Quick stitch. Might leave the words off. And I had this idea that the one seasonal decoration thing I'm going to do is, you know, I have my prairie schooler birds and my prairie schooler sunny days, my prairie schooler Santas, that I kind of have this idea that I'm going to finish them into little squares and have a garland that hangs over our TV stand. But I didn't have anything for fall, so I ordered this, the Ghost Season Gourds by Hands On Design. This is really cute. I don't, again, we don't really decorate for Halloween. I don't stitch a lot of Halloween, but this is like the kind of Halloween maybe I like, you know? Like there are some little ghosts in there, but it's mostly about pumpkins, teal and orange. I don't know about the green fabric. We'll see if I go with it. I probably won't start this year, but it's fun to think about. She says in the back that there's a finishing tutorial included, so that's good. And the Cult for Floss is Color and Cotton, which I really like. I love their floss, so I might order the Cult for. I think Color and Cotton, just like everybody else, is a little bit behind right now, though, so certainly probably won't be something I'll get to this year, but maybe these pumpkins. I don't know. And I also got some bobbins, very exciting. 3 of the 4 colors of DMC I'm missing. 832. I'm having a hard time finding that. They're, excuse me, off the table. 832. Having a hard time finding that. And then I got some finishing fabric for special secret gifting stitch project I have in mind. Purples and pinks. What could that be for? Also, these batiks were on sale for some reason. It's like watercolor batiks in pinks and purple, so you know. That's not too irresponsible of an order. I was out of bobbins, and I did need this DMC, so might as well order some finishing fabric and a chart. You know, if you're gonna order, you can't just order 3 straight skeins of floss. Come on. I'm waiting on 2 more orders to come in. I ordered a larger piece of truffle linen, I think as I've said in a past clip, and I think that there is a skein of 832 coming my way, hopefully. And I ordered I ordered some supplies to start a new hobby, which I'll show you when they get here, because I don't have enough to do. Hi, FlossTube friends. It is Sunday, the 13th of September. I haven't checked in a couple days. In a week, actually. It's been over a week since I've checked in. So just wanted to catch up with you and show you why. So when I last saw you, I was planning on working on this last Saturday for a couple challenges in the Digital Black Needle Society retreat. And I did work on it for a challenge in the morning, and I got most of this cupcake done. And I also, throughout the day, got some back stitching done and started these words right here. basically, basically that day I participated in the stash dive challenge, and I actually won. But so they did these challenges where they would give you a list of items, like 60 items, and you had to go through your stash and see what you could find. And it all had to be in the same room, which is easy for me because we're in an apartment, so everything's in the same room. And like, so for example, you had to look for like a chart with a turkey on it. And you only had an hour or 45 minutes to find everything, and then 15 minutes to post and upload your photos. And I won one of these challenges, but my apartment was in such disarray, my living room was in such disarray after the challenge that took a while to put everything back together. And I was just like way too tired after that challenge to do much else that day stitch wise. So I spent the rest of the day kind of like napping and recovering. So I didn't get a whole lot stitched. And then Sunday we had things to do around the house, and I wasn't feeling so hot. So this didn't come back out at all during the retreat. But that's okay because I did get some stuff done. And I'm happy with how it's turning out. So this is going to get put away, I think, until I feel like stitching on Christmas things again, because fall stitching is really calling to me today. So, but this isn't the only thing I've been working on. So remember when I said I needed to get a finish in for Stitch from Stash? Well, I did it. I finished my version of Heartstring Samplery's Coffee Quaker. Here's what the original looks like. It's like a brown and gold and red colorway. So I opted for some blues and some golds and a little splash of teal. And this purpley brown. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I'm still, I don't know, sometimes when I look at it, I'm a little iffy on this green color, but it's my husband's favorite color in the whole piece, so I think I'm going to call it done, leave it in. It turned out pretty good. I'll list below the colors I use. They're all Color and Cottons. So this is what I spent the rest of this week working on finishing up. So Sunday through this morning, I finished up these birds this morning. There's a couple motifs in here that the way they were charted, it wasn't entirely symmetrical. Like this motif and these motifs were not actually charted symmetrically. I wasn't sure if that was a mistake or not, but I felt weird about stitching them asymmetrically, so I just did it how I thought I wanted it. Whatever, it's my piece. So anyway, that's done. So that should put me in the positive for Stitch from Stash, and that's another year of WIP checked off. And that's a sampler September finish. So I think my plans are, here's a very loud truck idling outside. I hope you can't hear that. My plans are for this week, now that I'm in the positive, I can kind of relax and stitch what I want to stitch. So I'm just going to spin the sampler September Tiny Decisions wheel each day or every other day when I feel like it, and work on a little bit on a sampler. I have a new start I started this morning to show you that I'm also hoping to work on a bit. So remember I said I was really feeling fall stitching. So I decided this morning to start Hands On Designs Hey There Pumpkin. I didn't have any of the called for colors or the called for fabric, so I pulled out this navy blue. It's like 28 count navy blue Lugana, and I feel like the orange and the teal color and the white of the pumpkins are really going to pop on this. So I think I'll be happy with how it turns out. I haven't really picked a brown or a green yet. The chart calls for Gentle Arts chalk, but like I think I have that actually, but it looks white, so I'm just using DMC white. And I didn't have any of the other called for colors, so I've pulled a bunch of options. I'm going to kind of figure it out as I go. I might color complete for this one. and go from there. But I'm hoping to work on this a little bit this week as well, as the mood strikes me. So, and then finally, I received some Stitchy Kindness this week. So, some of you might remember that a couple years ago, not in 2019, in 2018, at the New Jersey Floss Tube Retreat, Margot and I sat together the whole retreat, and we both started this chart, and we stitched it differently with the intention of swapping it. If I can find a picture of it, I will insert a picture of the pillows I completed for her. And then this week, she finally FFO'd and sent me the pillows she completed for me. So I'll insert a picture so you can see how different they are. We did use different colors, different fabric counts. I think she used a smaller count than I did. Her stitches are certainly much neater than mine. Look how neat those stitches are. But she sent me these little pillows this week, along with a couple baby gifts, which was really nice of her. So yeah, I really love this fuzzy aqua trim. I guess you call that chenille. Is that what that's called? And on the back is some shell fabric. So these arrived just in time for the end of summer, but I'm keeping them out because I love them. And then I received also in the mail from Dawn, Frosty X Stitch, stitched me this beautiful ice cream piece for our nursery. And she also included this little small. She said she started out by stitching the small, but then she saw this chart and she thought it would be perfect. And this little needle miter in here. So I have to get a frame for this. But it's even got some sparkly thread in there. You can see. And she included the information on the back about what she stitched and who it was for, and that it was for us. So yeah, that was really sweet. It was totally unexpected. It was really wonderful to receive this in the mail. Thanks so much, Dawn. It's gorgeous. I have to find the perfect frame for it so I can put it on the wall. But for now, it's on the shelf in a place where I can see it every day when I walk through the room. And then Carmen, Broadway Stitcher. Carmen, where have you been? You haven't made a video in a long time. She was doing some destashing because she moved, and she sent this along to me. I think she's already finished it. This is Summer House Stitchworks Sister Suffragette, and you'll see here it says "See note inside." Somebody, let's see who. I'll not show you the chart. Zippy Zax on Instagram has been, I guess, started this. So this chart's been passed around to a bunch of different stitchers to stitch for the centennial anniversary of, well, of white women's right to vote. But the centennial of the Suffrage Act. So there's a hashtag in there that you're supposed to include when you post your finish, and the idea is you pass this on to somebody else after you finish stitching it. So this is already spoken for. It's going to Debbie next. I'm going to see if I can get this started this month so I can have it finished in time for November. It doesn't look like that big of a stitch. I mean, I would probably skip the UK button and just do the Canadian American one. Some finishing instructions on the back. Let's see, how big is it? It is, it's a long one. It's 195 wide by 43 high. But it doesn't look, it's not that complicated of a stitch. So if I can get around to starting it this week, I'm like starting all the things. I said at the start of September I was going to use September to try and get my whip count down because I probably won't have a lot of time for stitching once, you know, baby gets here. So I was going to try and knock out some whips, but instead I'm just starting a bunch of things. Oh well. So anyway, I'm going to see if I can get this started this week so I can get this done and send over to Debbie so she can get to it maybe before November as well. So yeah, so that's the Stitchy Kindness I received this week. So I'm going to stop the video here and stop the clip here anyway. And I have some things to do around the house, and then I got some stitching to do. Okay, so I just wanted to show you guys the secret stitching I've been working on. I started this, I think, over the Christmas holidays, and it took me a little bit of time to finish it up. So this is, I got this pattern as like an extra little leaflet inside an issue of Cross Stitch Crazy magazine, which I think we just learned closed for good. I can't remember if it was Cross Stitch or Cross Stitch Crazy, but one of them did not survive COVID-19, or maybe it was something else, but they've shut their doors. So I'm pretty sure it was Cross Stitch Crazy. They usually have little Margaret Cherry bonuses in the issues of the magazine, and this leaflet came with one of the issues. The title is Knitting Pals. I looked around online to see if I could find this anywhere else as a chart, and I didn't see it, but you know, maybe now that the magazine is closed, Margaret Cherry will have her patterns available other places. I don't know, it could be in one of her calendars or something. In any case, I stitched this using pretty much all the called for DMC. I think I substituted maybe a couple colors I didn't have. It is stitched on some opalescent 28 count linen, picture this plus. The colorway is Bashful. It's a very, very light pink. When I ordered it, I thought it was going to be darker. I think Cherub is darker, but it's basically off-white with a slight pink tinge. I stitched this, of course, for our friend Debbie, Stitch the Stash, because she loves Margaret Cherry and she loves cats, and she knits, and she likes pink and purple. So when I found this in my stash, I thought, oh, you know, I'll stitch this up for her, and then it took me forever because too many whips. And today, I finished this earlier this month, and then figured since I wanted the Stitch from Stash credit and was going to show it on Facebook, I should probably get it finished into a project bag and mailed to her before the end of the month, so she wouldn't see it on the internet before she got it in her mail. So yeah, so I used the Primitive Stitchers project bag tutorial, which I've used before. I will link it below. It's a really great in-depth tutorial, super easy, step-by-step. She shows you how to attach the trim and everything, and I used this purple fabric that I recently got from 123, and then on the inside, let's see if I can do this one-handed. On the inside, some yarn ball fabric in pink. So that's all done, so I'm going to see if I can get that in the mail tomorrow and off to Debbie. And it's a little crooked. My seams aren't super straight. It's supposed to be a 13-inch project bag, but it came out to 12. So hopefully the 11 by 11 Q-snap fits in there. I suck at measuring. I never measure anything right. But it's done. So that's what I've been working on today. So now I'm going to go pick up some stitching. So remember I said I was really feeling fall stitching. So I decided this morning to start Hands On Designs Hey There Pumpkin. I didn't have any of the called for colors or the called for fabric. So I pulled out this navy blue. It's like 28 count navy blue Lugana. And I feel like the orange and the teal color and the white of the pumpkins are really going to pop on this. So I think I'll be happy with how it turns out. I haven't really picked a brown or a green yet. The chart calls for Gentle Arts chalk, but like I think I have that actually, but it looks white, so I'm just using DMC white. And I didn't have any of the other called for colors, so I've pulled a bunch of options. I'm going to kind of figure it out as I go. I might color complete for this one and go from there, but I'm hoping to work on this a little bit this week as well as the mood strikes me. Hi friends, it's October 3rd. Happy Mean Girls Day. So I I last updated you on September 15th, a little over 2 weeks ago. And then 2 days later, the night of the 17th, I went into labor with our daughter. And she arrived on the 18th, which is our wedding anniversary. So there hasn't been much stitching since then. But I did kind of want to close out the video and do a quick final update. So I think this is the last thing I showed you that I was working on and starting. I was starting Hey There Pumpkin by Hands On Design. And I finished it this morning. So I made some changes. I didn't have any of the called for colors, except for some of the called for DMC. So the colors I used, the teal color is, let me look at my notes here. The teal color is Weeks Dye Works Blue Topaz, I believe. I actually didn't write this down. The brown color is Gentle Arts Picnic Basket. I know that. The green color of the leaves is Weeks Dye Works Kudzu. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that right. I'm going to write them below underneath this. I used, instead of using chalk, I just used DMC Blanc for the pumpkins. And the orange and the light blue are the called for DMCs, 720 and 3811, because again, I didn't have the weeks for that. This in here is supposed to be stitched, but I hadn't figured out what color I wanted to use for the conversion, and I was kind of leaving that to last, and then I took a look at it and I kind of liked it empty to let the navy fabric show through, so I left it empty. And then the borders are supposed to be done in the brown color, and the words are supposed to be done in the gray, but I decided just to omit those colors, and I used the blue topaz for the borders, because I just love teal. And then the lighter 3811 for the words, and I really like how it turned out. It's very blue. Love me a blue and white pumpkin. So that's finished. Just in time for October. And with that, I think I'm going to close out the September portion of the vlog. I'm going to continue to vlog as I have updates for you, but those updates might be fewer and further in between. So I will see you sometime, I hope, in November with a little bit of an update. Once we get kind of into, I have been able to stitch a little bit in the afternoons while she sleeps, but once we get into kind of a routine, I'm hoping I'll be able to get a little bit more time in, but it's not the most important thing right now, obviously. So anyway, I'm going to use the rest of this time I have here to take a shower and brush my teeth, and I will see you guys soon. Thanks for stopping by.